See, everybody whosoever joins particular arm of the armed forces, he has got some reasoning behind it. So, do I have? I lost my father when I was a child studying in third class. I'd seen his photographs. Okay, I'd seen his photographs when he was in NCC. His NCC certificate during his college time. He was appearing for SSB. So I really do not know what has happened with him. But then because I was just a kid that time. So when I grew up, I seen these photographs. So and he used to give us, books on Krantikari, freedom fighters. I still remember during that time, there are libraries around us. And they used to give the books 50 paisa charges, rental and all. So reading those books, and then he used to, make us prepare for that Rashtra Bhakti wali jo poems hoti hai, जोश टाइप कैसे डिलीवर करना है स्कूल्स में. So that kind of josh was instilled by my father, right? So when I when I lost him when I was studying fifth standard, so everybody thought that I should be given a chance for getting into Sainik school or military school. So that time I had appeared for a military school, and unfortunately, since I was from a civilian background, so there was no such reserved seats for us. I couldn't make in the merit. And I still remember the person who was accompanying us, the relative at Ajmer, while seeing us of, he was telling कि बच्चे का अगर हो जाता तो अच्छा हो जाता, आपका आना सफल हो जाता. वो शब्द मेरे कान में हमेशा गूंजते रहते थे. And then I picked up, I used to be more, having affinity towards making science projects and all. So from sixth standards, only when I used to go for tape recorder repair and all. So it developed some kind of, taste for me to go into this field beyond. And I started doing soldering, making PCBs and making projects from sixth class onwards. When I was growing up, when I came in 12th standard, I am a KVite. Throughout I studied in KV. I can proudly say that. When I was studying in 12th standard, then I came to know that I can appear for NDA. Okay, so that was a golden chance for me. Again, I appeared for the NDA exam. And unfortunately, because that time I was not having, I was not sounding very good in English. And history, geography used to be very, I was not so good in that subject. So, and I couldn't make in the entrance exam. Okay. Then it was always there in the back of my mind that whenever I'll be in that kind of position to serve, I should be serving for the people at large, not for a particular person. Okay. That kind of thought process, and the best possible way to serve like that is through defense services. So it was already conceived it very well to me. And then I came to know, yes, after graduation also you can apply. I happened to go for engineering, though I was having bio and maths in my 12th standard. So I applied for entrance exam. During that time, the awareness level was not that much. The internet connectivity is not there. Like the kids nowadays enjoying. And so I applied for all the entrance exams. I flunked in that. So fortunately I got admission for engineering, because the branch I wanted to pursue was electronics. Since sixth standard, I have been, doing a lot of electronics project. So I was very competent when the kids were joining college time. So they were being told or taught about components, electronic components and all. I was already knowing about them, how to read resistance, how to, what is the purpose of all the active components and the passive components in the circuitry. So that kind of taste I was already having. So I went and joined. Then when I was graduating through the college, so I got a lot of options, opportunities. This is the point which I would like to, tell all the candidates. Whenever they are in college, that is the best time to get involved in lot many extracurricular activities. Okay, sky is the only limit. You should have a hunger to go and go for all these kind of a thing. Maybe at social work, everything teaches you a lot. Okay, the first and foremost, the biggest thing which is being taught by these kind of activity is how to respect others and how to be a social kind of a person. You should never be introvert kind of a person. I used to play a lot of games during college. I used to I have not wasted even a single hour sitting idle. Either I was out of my hostel when I was not studying, and I used to participate in NSS activities. Even in fact, I had experienced Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad also, where lot of talks about country and things which is moving on. It used to happen. So I used to actively participate. We used to witness even Vaktavyas of Shri Dr. Rajiv Dixit, if you are you know about
Yes.
him, about Swadeshi Andolan and all. So he is a IITN. He was a scientific advisor also in Rajiv Gandhi's government. So he is, all these things were again building up me for going for a bigger reason. Okay. The moment when I came out of my, I was in final year, and that time I had seen the advertisement in the newspaper. So Army and Air Force, both the advertisement were there. So I applied for both, right? This was the first opportunity which I got when I was, about to be passed out from the engineering college. So I applied, and I for Air Force, it used to be engineering knowledge test during our time. Nowadays, it is FCAT, and if Army, it was a direct call based on the academics and final marks. So the unfortunate part was both SSBs were starting from the same date. Okay, so I had, that was a question which is in my mind. So where to go, right? So then I, contacted my known people in my area. I am basically from Haryana. So that side, when I was, meeting people, my relatives, uncle, and all, so everybody was, motivating me, for encouraging me to go for army. Every one of them. Okay. Uh, it should not be placed on record, but I got to know that, the people from North India that time, they were not so good in speaking English. Okay. And particularly in my family, they were a little bit afraid of taking mathematics as subject, pursuing it. So they were telling the reasoning which I got was, Air Force is the most advanced, technologically advanced force, and a lot of South Indians, they're coming there, right? So I was that kind of a person. When everybody says about a particular thing, you do this, I always, always was having a thrill to experiment the otherwise. Okay. So then I decided, no, if anybody can do that, I can very well do it. So I happened to choose this Air Force, and I appeared at #1 Air Force Selection Board, Dehradun. So I appeared that, and I still remember my chest number was 7. And when the interview, I was entering in selection board. So that time also a lot of people I've seen, they were prepared, and I was thinking, I'm not prepared and I'll go like that. So what will happen? But then I was doing it the way it was coming to me. Okay. The way I have been. So probably these are the things, these are the qualities which they look for. So when the name got announced, chest number 7, my ears, they refused to hear this. So the person, my friend who was sitting beside me, he told your name. So that was the first number, because obviously chest number 7 comes earlier. So everybody started. I thought I know they are feeling me. So I got up and I started walking. So everybody was clapping. So I thought I cleared. Yeah, one thing which I'll tell you, the reason which you asked, why Air Force? Obviously, the reason was, as I was sounding technical since my childhood, 6th standard, and I was looking for using that kind of potential in whatever things, technologically advancement. When I heard this, thing, then I grew a passion for joining Indian Air Force, because I wanted to use my skill, my aptitude to the best of the best possible thing, #1. And #2, the reason which I told you, it is always better to serve for the country rather than serving for a particular person to the gain of them. एक चीज जो आपने बताई कि whenever getting some kind of defeat, अब जब आपको मुश्किलों का या असफलताओं का सामना करना पड़ता है, तो आपको गिव अप नहीं करना चाहिए. और गिव अप करने वाला इंसान, आई डोंट नो, मतलब ही इज, यू शुड हैव योर ओन इंडिविजुअलिटी. You should hear everyone, okay, around you. सब लोगों की बात सुननी चाहिए आपको, because lot of knowledge inflow happens, and during interaction only हमें चीजों का मालूम चलता है. बट जो अपने हौसले हैं, आपका खुद का अस्तित्व है, वो हमेशा जिंदा रहना चाहिए. तो मुझे हमेशा से लगता था कि मेरे को जाना है और मैं चला जाऊंगा। और मैं एक चीज बताना भूल गया, व्हेन आई वाज, मैं अभी तक भी ऐसा ही हूँ। मैं किसी भी काम को जब करता हूँ तो मैं सबको बोलता हूँ कि ये काम हो गया है, ठीक है। यू विल फाइंड इट साउंड स्ट्रेंज टू यू, बट दिस इज द मूल मंत्र ऑफ माई सक्सेस टिल डेट। मैंने ऐसा बोल करके जो भी कार्य किया है, जो भी काम किया है, वो हो जाता है। इट्स अ मूल मंत्र ऑफ सफलता। व्हाट हैपेंस इज in our body, when we say, we communicate this from our inner voice comes ना, कि हमें ये करना है, हम ये कर लेंगे, और ये कर लिया है। मैं तो एडवांस फेज में था, ये कर लिया है। तो मैं जाने से पहले मैंने अनाउंस कर दिया था कि आई एम गोइंग टू एकेडमी, एयरफोर्स एकेडमी, सबको अनाउंस कर दिया था। सो व्हेन आई रियली गॉट, व्हेन आई गॉट द ज्वाइनिंग लेटर, सो आई वाज थिंकिंग कि अब मैं दोबारा कैसे बताऊं, मैंने तो ऑलरेडी बोल दिया था, हो गया है। इसके बाद भी काफी चीजें होती रही, मतलब जैसे जब मैंने एकेडमी में एंटर किया तो हम 80 लोग थे। मुझे लगता था कि अपॉइंटमेंट होल्डर जो होता है, जस्ट लाइक मॉनिटर इन स्कूल्स, मुझे भी एक बनना चाहिए। जब कोई भी बन सकता है तो मैं भी बन सकता हूँ, मैं क्यों नहीं बन सकता। तो कुछ चीजें हालांकि मेरे लिए एडवांटेजेस थी, स्पेशली ऑल द इंजीनियर्स। इंजीनियर्स को तो मालूम ही है, सभी इंजीनियर्स को, कि हम लोग वन नाइट क्रिकेट खेल करके अच्छे मार्क्स ले लेते हैं, और वो एक कला है, वो स्किल है, और उसमें कुछ गलत नहीं है ना। ना जब हम, और मेरी आदत थी कि मैं कुछ पढ़ने के बाद में लोगों को पढ़ाता भी था, तो उससे मैं और भी ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंट हो जाता था चीजों के बारे में, और इतना सा पढ़ने के बाद में उसके बारे में काफी कुछ लिख सकता था। तो ये स्किल जो थी, इसने मुझे एकेडमी में बहुत हेल्प की। तो एकेडमी में क्या होता है, व्हेन यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग योर एग्जाम, ओके, टुमारो इज एग्जाम, तो द सीनियर्स विल इंश्योर दैट आपको रगड़ा उस दिन रात के 1 बजे तक मिलेगा।
Yes.
ओके, सो उसके बाद में व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू स्लीप, अगेन 4 o'clock हेल्थ रन इज देयर, राइट। सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज, जो लोग बुक वॉर्म्स होते हैं, हालांकि ऐसे लोग रिकमेंड नहीं होते हैं फॉर काइंड इंफॉर्मेशन, जो बुक वॉर्म्स होते हैं, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द सिंपल रीजन कि दे आर सेक्रीफाइसिंग देयर क्वालिटी टाइम वेर इन दे कुड हैव डन socializing, learn practical intelligence, which is very much required, especially in all the services, and in Air Force it is way more required. And your reasoning ability, it gets developed whether you play sports, whether you आप एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज में एंगेज हो जाओ। तो वहां पर एकेडमी में सब तरह के बच्चे आए थे जो चयनित होकर के, रिकमेंड होकर के आए थे, एंड दे वर ऑलरेडी हैविंग अ स्टैंडिंग इन द ऑर्डर ऑफ मेरिट। अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट वी आर बीइंग असाइन्ड द सर्विस नंबर्स, राइट। तो सर्विस नंबर में जो आगे होता है हमसे, जिसका सर्विस नंबर हमसे कम होता है, वो हमारा सीनियर होता है विद इन द कोर्स आल्सो। इट इज एज पर द मेरिट स्टैंडिंग। तो ये चीजें उस समय में बच्चों को नहीं मालूम होती, हमें भी नहीं मालूम थी। बाद में जब मैं सिलेक्शन बोर्ड में आ गया, सब चीजों के बारे में और क्लैरिटी से मालूम चलने लगा। तो वहां पे मुझे लगा कि जब ये अपॉइंटमेंट होल्डर बन सकता है, एंड इट इज समथिंग विच इज, आई वाज फाइंडिंग इट कि ये भी करना चाहिए। तो मैंने अपने आप को फिर से बोल दिया कि मैं ऐसा कर सकता हूँ। ओके, सो आई यूज्ड टू, आई टुक इट फॉर ग्रांटेड। मैं आगे बढ़ता रहा, एंड सब चीजें होती रही, उसी दिशा में होती रही। बाद में व्हेन आई जॉइंड द एयरफोर्स एकेडमी, सॉरी, एयरफोर्स टेक्निकल कॉलेज, आफ्टर पासिंग आउट एकेडमी, आई वाज ऑलरेडी स्टैंडिंग फर्स्ट इन द ऑर्डर ऑफ मेरिट। And it is being not only decided by academics, it is also decided by your drill, your GST, that is general, or whatever field activities you are doing. Okay, so जो आपके outdoor activities है और academics है, उसका sum total मिलाकर के, if you are standing first, then you are awarded this kind of recognition, and your name is written for forever. So anybody who is visiting academy, you can see my name is there. Okay, after that, when AFTC में आया, तो AFTC में it was totally 70% was academics, because it was a professional institute, and obviously 30% the military bearing, and drill, PT, parade, everything was there. Okay, so there also, I was awarded by Chief of Staff, the then Chief of Staff, Air Marshal Anil Tipnis, as a best passing out officer, and I got Chief of Staff medal from there. उसके बाद मैंने जो चूज किया था, मेरे को क्या करना है, तो आई वाज थिंकिंग दैट आई शुड ऑलवेज गो टू out of various systems. Okay, missiles, helicopters, the fighters. Everybody was aiming for fighters. So I was also thinking that I must go to fighter. But then somebody told me एक ऐसा system है जो ऑपरेट भी इंजीनियर्स करते हैं, ऑपरेट भी इंजीनियर्स करते हैं और मेंटेन भी इंजीनियर्स करते हैं. सो आई वाज साउंडिंग इट वाज साउंडिंग वेरी चैलेंजिंग एंड एडवेंचरस फॉर मी. तो आई पिक्ड अप रशियन surface to air missile system, which I got trained into this, and for close to around 8 years I was actively serving the field. During that time, I became a combat instructor also. I earned my combat category, and I used to train the people for combat. And after that, we also got an opportunity which has happened for the first time in the history of Indian Air Force, that we were deployed in the peace come training area, and there was a troubling Pakistani UAV always coming and catching, doing the surveillance or Indian territory. So we just thought of doing an experiment, by firing and shooting it down. So then we got the permission and we shot it down, and the SOP was revised. Okay, so then this is the first time when we it's clicked the idea that these kind of targets can also be destroyed. So that was done by my team, and thereafter I was thinking to get into so Air Force is the best place to serve in terms of when you are exploring lot many systems. It is not a monotonous life in Indian Air Force. So I got an opportunity because I've been standing first in the order of merit, and so I got the opportunity to convert myself for the next life beyond it. The advanced light helicopters I got. Then I got trained into advanced light helicopter. Thereafter, various systems I got trained. Indian Air Force, around close to 18 systems, different systems I got trained, covering the entire things like avionics, and then the radio and navigational aids, all the support services which is required for fighter flying and flying operations. Then I switched over to information warfare, satellite communication. During 2012, there's an opportunity for the defense people to go for Indian police services. That was the first time it has re-emerged, and it got nod from MOD and PMO. So it came. So I applied. I was the first person to apply from Air Force, and I cleared that exam also. Unfortunately, couldn't do it because there was a litigation against the UPSC conducting this exam. And then thereafter, whatever. So I'm talking about whatever fields you are aiming for, that you can always, you can get it for sure. Then I was picked up for psychology exam, the psychology, becoming a psychologist under this Air Force Selection Board. So we got trained by Defense Institute of Psychological Research, Timarpur, which is operated by DRDO. Then the practical training, and then long tenures. One tenure was at 2 Air Force Selection Board at Mysore, and second tenure was from Gandhinagar, from where I got retired. Then apart from this, challenges which you're talking about. See, service life gives you training experience. The government, the organization takes care of you entirely. Okay, so you need not to bother about the most bothering things about a person's life is the working professional is about his family, about health issues, insurance, house. So these things keep troubling. So the government takes care of all these things and spends crores on you on the on your training. And the more versatile you are, more capable you are, you can be employed anywhere in the times to come when there's a war kind of situation. Okay. I also got the opportunity to complete law while in service. So this was an opportunity which landed to me, and I completed law while I was in Mysore at the Air Force Selection Board. And thereafter, I did MBA. I stood first in the university, and that was done from the UPES, University of Petroleum Energy Science. And then, while doing discharging my duties as psychologist, I became HOD at Gandhinagar, head of the department, and the whole psychologist team was working with me. So I thought of developing it further, going for individual behavior, knowing much more through other professionals and organizational behavior. So I got an opportunity again to do MBA from XLRI Jamshedpur. So I completed that MBA also. So in between, if I talk about, I got various adventurous activities also. Whenever it appeared before me, I applied for that. I did para jumping, scuba diving, all these activities. They are part and parcel of a life. So it was a thrilling experience.
Yes,
I hope it will motivate people to come forward and
definitely.
join.